this one? The Roger Federer Foundation supports this particular project because it's in the poorest neighborhood in South Africa. So in that reason, we really feel that these kids need the most help to succeed later on in life. So let me show you how I play a bit of tennis. Like that. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3.
You're very supportive of young people, especially with your foundation, the Roger Federer Foundation. Tell me about why it was important for you to start that. I believe you began that after you won the 2007 Wimbledon.
It's been going on for a while now,
yeah.
And I still feel like I'm learning every day. You know, I'm doing it with so much passion, but I need, you know, some help, some expertise help to exactly how to set it all up and go through it all, because it's a lot of work, you know, and it's a lot of responsibility. So for me, it's something I really, really enjoy, to make a difference in people's lives. And the idea of the Roger Federer Foundation early was in education, because we felt that's something you cannot take away from any child. It's in the continent of Africa. We started in South Africa because that's where my mom's from. That was something very personal, and I felt very comfortable doing that. And it was my mom who also always told me, if you have an opportunity to give back, Roger, don't wait too long.
Speaking of your mom, she's been quoted as saying that you get your serenity from her, discipline from your father.
Really?
See, interestingly enough, Roger Federer, I read that you weren't always a cool, calm, nice guy on the court.
I was a nice guy,
well,
but
okay.
not nice against myself.
You weren't always a cool, calm guy, always smiling on the court.
That's true.
What was that about?
Just struggling to keep my temper, you know.
See, this
cool.
is, I can't believe that you even had a temper.
But it's so funny, because actually I had all the temperament even on the tour, on the main tour, but the problem was it was all before I really broke through when I beat Sampras at Wimbledon. I literally decided a month before I beat Sampras at Wimbledon in 2001, I'm just going to be quiet now, and I'm going to get so angry if I'm not going to be quiet at myself that I pulled it through. You can ask all my generation players how I used to be in the juniors up until about 20, 21 years old, and then I became this super quiet guy that now everybody knows, but people who really know me remember that crazy guy who used to commentate every shot I missed, cried after matches, broke rackets, threw rackets in the fence so I wouldn't break the rackets, and just be so emotional and torn, you know, on the court, and not argue ever with my opponent or the umpire decisions at all, just with myself, you know, that trying to be too perfect too soon.
Yeah.
It was very much part of me, and I think it was good for me to get it all out when I was between sort of, I'd say, I don't know, 8 and 20.
Yeah.
And then now I can play with that serenity that my mom is maybe saying, you know.
You've got a lot of support around you. I mean, you talk about with your family, you travel with your family often as well, and also the support that you have from your wife. I mean, I think maybe a lot of people don't know that she was a champion in her own right, a Swiss junior champion as well. Tell me about the kind of influence that she has had on you.
Yeah, I mean, friends and family for me are, absolutely top of the priorities. But Mirka's been incredibly supportive throughout. We got to know each other better at the Sydney Olympics back in 2000, and then started dating right sort of shortly after that. And then had kids in 2009, also got married that year. And so for me, it's been an amazing experience, and just seeing, you know, that she totally understands the game of tennis, because she played herself on tour as well. She was herself top 100 on the WTA tour, and that actually she doesn't sort of pull me away from the game of tennis and says, you know, why do you have to go practice again? Like, you know, she's like, no, shouldn't you practice more, or shouldn't you go to bed earlier? She reminds me of the things, you know, so without her I probably wouldn't have had the success I've had, and she's seen, I'd say 80–90% of all my matches, so more than any coach I've ever had and so forth. So she's been, incredibly good for my tennis career, but also for me personally, just growing up. She's always been there, and she's been wonderful. Because
she didn't continue with her professional tennis career, I remember reading somewhere that she said once that when you win, she feels like she wins too. Do you ever feel that when you're actually playing and perhaps even winning, is that there's a little bit part of you that is doing it for her as well. I mean, that's the romantic in me.
I know, it's very romantic. I don't think I don't think of it. I just like to see her like being happy. So if it makes her happy that I win, it's good for me winning, right? Because if I lose, she's in a bad mood. It's not good for me. So
does she ever question you if you lose? Like, do you ever say, "What were you doing?"
Yeah, it's like, yeah, she'll tell me that was an awful match. What's wrong with you? You know, like absolutely. I mean, she can. You know how friends and family are. They'll tell you the truth.
They're the worst critics.
Absolutely, you know. But that's why we love them the most, you know. And no, clearly, I mean, we talk about matches. We've gone through phases where we talked, you know, so much about tennis, especially in the beginning of my career. There was even a time where I didn't have a coach, you know. So I don't want to say she took the coaching role, but you know, clearly then we talked about it, you know.
I saw somewhere that you said that you wanted to become #1 because you wanted to have a child early enough so that they could see you play.
Right.
And I think everyone remembers the 2012 Wimbledon last year.
Last year, yeah.
And, you know, it was in Britain, of course, the home crowd of Andy Murray. But I think everyone saw the faces of those two little girls cheering, but they didn't know what they were cheering for. They just saw their daddy and they were very happy. Right. I bet seeing those faces means more than anything than any trophy that you could get.
I think there was a particular dream of Mirka, actually, of my wife, that she said it'd be so nice that your kids or our kids see you play still, because at a young age they don't know what's going on. Now they can barely tell the difference between practice and matches, you know, and they get the winning and losing part, you know, all of that now slowly. So for her it was really like a dream to, once we had kids, that hopefully can still keep on playing so they actually get to really see you. So at the Wimbledon 2012 in the finals, they didn't come to see the match. They came for the trophy ceremony. I didn't know that they were going to be there, and Mirka sort of brought them in, and it's one of those moments you look back on as a player and a father and a husband. You're like, oh my God, that's like the perfect moment. Can we like freeze that one forever, or just for a longer time? And then just seeing them happy and clapping and seeing their happy faces, it's a beautiful feeling, you know.
What do you want your legacy to be?
That I was maybe good for the game, you know, not bad, really. That people enjoyed watching me play, that I put the game into the right direction, that I was maybe somebody that you could look up to. And I just want to be part of the great game of tennis, you know, that who was part of it, because tennis is always bigger than any athlete we've ever had, and tennis will keep on going, will be successful, will be good, because right now we live in sort of that golden era, people call it, and I'm very proud to be playing right now.
Roger Federer, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.